Let me start with a harsh truth. You're probably looking at the wrong jobs. While hundreds of thousands of people are grinding through LeetCode problems trying to land the same senior software engineer position at Google or Meta, there are entire categories of six-figure tech jobs that barely get noticed. I'm talking about roles that regularly pay $150,000 to $300,000 plus annually with a fraction of the applicant pool. Why does this happen? The answer is simple but counterintuitive. The tech industry has created a myth that the only prestigious, well-paying path is through traditional software engineering. Every aspiring tech worker knows what a software engineer does. They code, they build products. It's straightforward, glamorous, and everyone talks about it. But here's what nobody tells you. There are adjacent fields where you can leverage your technical knowledge, command premium compensation, and face significantly less competition because fewer people even know these jobs exist. Let me break down some of the most lucrative invisible roles and explain exactly why they're flying under the radar. The Technical Program Manager Renaissance first. Let's talk about Technical Program Management, or TPM roles. If you've ever wondered what happens between when an engineer finishes coding a feature and when it actually ships to millions of users, TPMs are orchestrating that entire process. They're not writing code daily, but they absolutely need deep technical understanding. Consider this real-world example. A major cloud infrastructure company. A TPM was tasked with coordinating the rollout of a new database optimization feature across 50-plus teams globally. This required understanding distributed systems, database architecture, and interdependencies between multiple engineering teams, while managing timelines, risk mitigation, and stakeholder communication. The compensation package: $185,000 base salary plus $80,000 in stock and bonuses. Total comp: $265,000. Meanwhile, the senior software engineers at the same company working on this feature averaged $220,000 total compensation. Here's what makes TPM roles attractive. Companies are chronically understaffed in technical program management. A 2023 industry report from the Standish Group found that 37% of tech projects fail due to poor coordination and communication, not technical incompetence. That's directly a TPM problem. Yet TPM roles receive roughly 1/15th the applications that software engineering positions do, according to data from Blind and Levels. FYI. Counterargument you might hear, but TPMs aren't real engineers. They don't build things. This is precisely the bias keeping people out of lucrative opportunities. TPMs are infrastructure builders. They build systems for thousands of engineers to work effectively. The impact multiplier is massive. One TPM preventing a 6-month delay on a critical project just saved the company potentially millions in opportunity costs. To break into TPM, you don't need to switch careers entirely. If you're a mid-level software engineer with 3-5 years experience, you're already overqualified for many TPM entry points. The path typically involves: first, volunteering to lead cross-team technical initiatives in your current role. Second, documenting your results in terms of timeline improvements and stakeholder alignment. Third, interviewing at companies known for strong TPM cultures like Google, Amazon, or Stripe. The DevOps and SRE shortage that's creating millionaires. Now let's talk about one of the most undersaturated categories in tech: DevOps engineering and site reliability engineering, SRE. These roles are on a completely different planet in terms of compensation to competition ratio. Here's a concrete case study. A mid-market fintech company was losing $50,000 per hour during system outages. The previous DevOps team was small and reactive. They hired a senior SRE who implemented infrastructure as code, automated deployment pipelines, and created robust monitoring systems. Within 6 months, unplanned downtime dropped 87%. Her compensation: base salary of $175,000, but with performance bonuses tied to uptime metrics. Her total compensation that year reached $235,000. Most importantly, she received exactly 4 qualified applicants when the role was posted. Why the shortage? There are several overlapping factors. First, DevOps and SRE require a broader skill set than traditional SWE. You need systems knowledge, networking fundamentals, cloud platform expertise, and infrastructure design patterns. This broader requirement makes the candidate pool smaller because fewer people have all these skills. Second, there's a perception problem. DevOps got branded as infrastructure work or ops, which some junior engineers view as less intellectually stimulating than building user-facing features. This perception is demonstrably false. Infrastructure engineering is some of the most complex work in tech, but the narrative persists. According to the 2023 DevOps Institute salary report, SRE positions consistently have the highest unfilled vacancy rates in tech, yet they're growing 18% year-over-year in compensation. A senior SRE at a FAANG company easily commands $250,000, $400,000 in total compensation, yet there are often fewer than 10 qualified applicants per role. The path into SRE is different from traditional SWE. You typically start as a software engineer, then specialize. Spend 1-2 years building deep expertise in cloud platforms Oz, GCP or Azure, containerization Docker, Kubernetes, infrastructure as code, Terraform, CloudFormation, and observability monitoring, logging, tracing. Then transition into an SRE-focused role. Many companies will hire senior software engineers into SRE roles specifically because they can teach the infrastructure specifics faster than they can teach solid engineering fundamentals. Solutions architects. The overlooked hybrid role **. Let me introduce you to a role that barely exists in most people's career vocabulary. Solutions architect. This is a hybrid position that lives between sales, engineering, and product strategy. Here's what a solutions architect actually does. They work with enterprise clients to design custom technical solutions that address specific business problems using the company's platform or services. They're not salespeople, but they directly impact deals. They're not software engineers, but they need deep technical credibility. They're not product managers, but they provide critical product feedback. A real example. A solutions architect at a B2B SaaS company spent 3 months working with a Fortune 500 healthcare client to design how to integrate the platform with their existing legacy systems. The solution involved writing sample code, creating architecture diagrams, managing the technical evaluation process, and ensuring successful implementation post-sale. The deal value $2.5 contract. The solutions architect's bonus for closing this deal, $40,000 on top of base salary of $145,000. Total compensation that year including stock, $215,000. Why is this role undersaturated? Several reasons. First, it's relatively new. Most companies only created these positions in the last 10-15 years as they scaled from startup to enterprise. Second, the job description is nebulous. Is it sales, engineering, product? This ambiguity causes talented people to dismiss it. Third, there's no clear educational path. You can't major in solutions architecture in college, however. If you're a software engineer with 4+ years of experience who enjoys customer interaction and strategic thinking, this role is a perfect fit. The compensation is genuinely competitive with senior engineering roles. $150,000, $280,000 total comp depending on the company. But the applicant pool is 1/20th the size because so few people even know the role exists. *** Data engineering. The quiet gold mine ** data engineers are in a fascinating position. They're genuinely in short supply. The ratio of data engineers to software engineers is probably 1:20 across the industry, yet there's still less competition for their roles compared to core SWE positions. Data engineering compensation is exceptional. A mid-level data engineer at a tech-forward company earns $160,000, $220,000. A senior data engineer easily clears $250,000, $350,000. The reason? Data directly drives business revenue in modern tech companies. A poorly designed data pipeline costs millions. A well-designed one enables data-driven decisions that drive billions in value. Breaking in requires SQL mastery, understanding of distributed systems, and expertise in tools like Apache Spark, Airflow, or dbt. These skills are teachable but require deliberate study. Most software engineers never build these specific competencies, so they're not even in the running for these roles. The counter-argument. Are these jobs really better? Let me address the legitimate counter-argument. Just because these roles have less competition doesn't mean they're better for everyone. There are real trade-offs. TPM roles require exceptional interpersonal skills and comfort with ambiguity. If you're someone who loves deep technical problem solving and gets frustrated with meetings, TPM might actually be a worse choice despite higher compensation. SRE roles are on call frequently, requiring you to respond to critical outages at 3 a.m. The mental load is different from traditional software engineering. Some people thrive on this, others burn out. Solutions architect roles involve significant travel and client management, which appeals to some personalities but not others. This is crucial. The best career move isn't necessarily the one with the highest compensation or lowest competition. It's the one that aligns with your skills, interests, and lifestyle preferences. However, most people aren't even aware these roles exist, so they can't make an informed choice. The practical action plan **. If you're currently grinding away at coding interview prep for your 10th Google SWE rejection, here's a different approach. First, audit your existing skills. Are you strong in systems design? That's valuable for SRE and DevOps. You enjoy cross-team collaboration more than heads-down coding. TPM or solutions architecture might fit better. Are you fascinated by data infrastructure? Lean into data engineering. Second, deliberately build the missing skills for your target role. If pursuing SRE, spend the next 6-12 months getting certified in cloud platforms and deep diving into Kubernetes. If pursuing TPM, read books on program management and volunteer to coordinate projects in your current role. Third, target companies known for strong cultures in these roles. Amazon practically invented the SRE discipline. Google has legendary TPM programs. Stripe is famous for their solutions architecture team. These companies have the scale to deeply develop these roles. Fourth, network differently. Since there's less public attention on these careers, the people who break in often do so through referrals and networking. Find practitioners on LinkedIn, ask informational questions, and express genuine interest. The uncomfortable truth is that the tech industry has created an enormous coordination failure. Talented engineers are fighting over saturated SWE positions, while